Hey everybody, we're Barry and Tracy. Welcome back to our YouTube channel, Joy Hub, where we seek to help teams, leaders, and couples journey into deeper joy. And I'm really looking forward to this topic today of gratitude because we've learned so much about it and the significance of it and how good it is for us to be a people who are grateful. So why
Yeah.
don't you share some about that?
Well, this is something that I've been learning about for years, but I'm still trying to deepen this attitude of experiencing more gratitude in my own life. I know what it's like to maybe be around or work with someone who's kind of, not in a good mood every day and negative, and it's always more fun to be around people like you who are grateful. You
Yes.
attract more people to you when you have
Absolutely.
gratitude, and one of the key principles that I believe about gratitude, it really is the bridge that gets us to joy. And I think gratitude's contagious too. And so, like Barry mentioned, it's something that we've been thinking a lot about. And I know when I first started being introduced to the power of being a grateful person was a book that I read several years ago called 1000 Gifts by Ann Voskamp. And that's been probably one of the most important books I've ever read as far as just how it's impacted me and changed the way I've lived. And then a more recent book that we read is called The Joy Switch. And they're very different books because the Joy Switch really emphasizes a lot of the brain chemistry and how we can create new pathways of just joy in our brain. We can train our brain to be and experience more joy by being grateful and just calling things to mind and remembering things that make us feel grateful. And it's like a muscle memory thing in your brain. The more you just give thanks for things or just emphasize things you're grateful for, the more joy you experience and the easier it is to keep that pattern going. And I think being grateful also helps. It doesn't mean that you just pretend like nothing bad is happening, because we've been through, this past year was kind of a more difficult year, but I was still able to have gratitude and give thanksgiving even in difficult seasons, because there's always something that I can say thank you for. And I think it helps you to become more resilient when you do enter those seasons of stress, because I think what can happen sometimes is we can just get down this negative cycle of going down, 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 where everything's going wrong. But what giving gratitude does is it forces you to be honest with yourself and like, yes, things are hard right now, but there's also good
There is.
that we can choose to focus on. And people who kind of implement this attitude of, I'm going to be grateful even the difficult times, but I'm also going to be grateful in the seasons of joy and not forget to say thanks. You just tend to have stronger relationships and make more connections with people. And it just opens you up to different, deeper relationships, I think, when you're cultivating an attitude of being grateful.
It does. All that we've learned, and I guess even more importantly, practiced of what we've learned. And we're going to share some of these how-tos.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can say, and I'm not overstating or exaggerating, it's been life-changing. I, by nature, can be a pessimist. I can be a worrier. I can be a complainer. I can get down. I can hold it all in. But just this practice of appreciation and gratitude that Tracy's talked about, and we're going to get into some specifics, honestly, truly has been life-changing for me the last couple of years.
Yeah, so when I first started reading the book, 1000 Gifts, the way the author wrote the book is someone challenged her to make a list of 1000 things she was grateful for. It was a simple thing, she would just start a list. And so I just started implementing that in my own life. And I used to actually keep it in a journal. But now what I found that is more powerful for me to do, and this would be the first step I would encourage people in getting started, is either start it in a journal, or what I do now is I have a note on my phone. And so for 2025, I have my gratitude list. And I just try to make it a daily habit of writing things that I'm grateful for. It could be simple things like I'm grateful I'm grateful for this meal that I had with a friend, or I'm grateful that I woke up and my back doesn't hurt today. It could be a list of so many things
Yeah.
that we're grateful for. So that'd be the first one that I would say is like a good way to start implementing this.
It's so good. It's so powerful. I remember it was years ago that you read 1,000 Gifts, and I remember you being impacted by it and you knowing me well enough to encourage me towards it. And my first response was, as a man, I don't want to do this. It sounds a little bit girly, especially journaling, like Dear Diary. And it's really not that at all. It's literally, for me, at minimum once a week, usually on the weekend, I take time to look back on the week at things I have to be grateful for, things that happen that I appreciate. And I like to write them down. I'm on devices so much. I actually like to write it in my own handwriting and look back on it later in the year in my own handwriting. That's just how I prefer it. But the main thing is just how I literally feel, and just my brain feels healthy, my heart feels healthy. I feel truly joyful after I spend some time in my gratitude journal.
Yeah, I think that's so good. And then the second idea that I would say on this attitude of really cultivating gratitude in your life is to set yourself a goal to maybe send a daily or weekly gratitude text or note. I would say note, but no one really writes notes anymore, and that's probably outside of what most people would actually do. But it's so simple to just tell someone, hey, I loved having lunch with you, thank you. Or, hey, do you know I appreciate, I could do this with our kids. I appreciate how hard you're working to pass that class, or I really appreciate that you just got this new promotion, or thank you that you took me to the Falcons game for my birthday. Just a simple text. Because one of the things that I think is powerful about this is sometimes we appreciate things about other people and they don't even know.
That's right. That's what I was thinking, how often I have a thought of an example you just shared, but people are left out of the know if I don't share it with them.
And it can be simple as just a quick text. And sometimes those are powerful motivators for people.
True.
You don't know what people are going through, and a word of encouragement sometimes can change someone's day. It's like turning a light bulb of joy on for them. So that's one. And then one powerful one that's new that I'm trying to implement into my own personal walk this year is first thought, last thought. And I didn't create that. That's an idea that much smarter people came up with, but it's the first thought of the day and the last thought of the day. And so I try to make those first thoughts and the last thoughts something that is expressing gratitude. Like, thank you, God, that I wake up in a home where I'm safe, or thank you, God, for my family. I just right now want to tell you thank you. Or just starting your day off by expressing gratitude. It starts the tone for the day. And then even if you could only implement one of the two, the last thought of the day, sometimes whatever we're playing in our mind when we go to sleep it affects how we sleep and how we rest, and rest is crucial.
Yes.
So just having the last thought being a thought of gratitude, of thanksgiving in your mind, it's just puts you in such a better place before you sleep. So that's the first thought, last thought.
I like that. That sleep is so important. I can't tell you how many nights I've woken up just in a stressful dream. So I haven't yet implemented this one, but I'm going to seek to do that.
Another one is in conversations with other people, just expressing gratitude, just saying, because sometimes we can get together in conversations, and especially women are quick to do this, where we just kind of like get into this thing where we're just complaining about our kids, or we're complaining about our husbands, or just, I don't know, it's like who's got it worse right now is the kind of conversations we can have sometimes. And so just trying to say, hey, one thing I've been really grateful for is, and it can kind of take a negative conversation and turn it into a more positive direction. Or one other way you could do it is you could say, I'm trying to like cultivate more gratitude. What's something you would say you've been grateful for lately? And just giving other people the opportunity to kind of enter into that thinking with you.
Yeah. And of course, guys, we know we're not immune from that, getting together and complaining and venting or even getting together and just not talking about much of anything meaningful. So I think, yeah, making the most of this in our relationships with each other, be the weird guy who asks, what's going on in your life that you appreciate or that you're grateful for.
Yeah. And I think, we get, we've got the first thought, last thought, but having moments where you maybe pause in your day. And this is just overall good for your health when you get into like work, stress, or, routine where you just pause and take a few minutes to breathe and maybe just be grateful for something that's already happened in your day. Like one of the things I try to do every day is walk. Being outside is good for my soul and for my body. I do long walks. And so sometimes when I'm walking around my neighborhood, I might pass by my neighbor's house and I might say, thank you, God, for my friend Janine. Thank you that she leads my small group and I appreciate her. Or if I'm out walking, just saying thanks for the fact that I feel good enough that I can walk and that the nature is so beautiful. Like if it's in fall and the leaves are turning or spring. So just taking moments to just take in where you are and give a quick thanks can kind of change your day.
Yeah, which is like noticing being present in the moment, noticing what's going on around you, who God has placed in your life. Like you said, the beauty. It just snowed here yesterday and we're still admiring just the beauty of the creation and how neat it looks outside right now.
And sometimes it can feel like weird when you're starting this idea of giving gratitude or how to even express it. And so one idea I had also is that you can just Google like what are some gratitude prompts, and that kind of can get you started as you're kind of building this habit of giving, thanks for things throughout your day. And then the last thing I would say is if this is something that you really want to cultivate deeper in your life, maybe pick one of those 2 books or another book that will kind of direct you toward having this kind of activity going in your mind and you grow deeper in your conviction to want to stop and complaining and be a more grateful person.
In fact, we'll link both of those books in the description to the video.
Yeah, and I just wanted to close by sharing one of my favorite verses on gratitude and joy, and it's in Psalm 16:11, and it says, "In your presence is fullness of joy." And so that's really a place where all of the joy of gratitude kind of comes together as being in God's presence. And so that's a verse that can really cultivate a lot of joy and gratitude in your life. So let's make 2025 the year where I know for us and for all of you, you experience that bridge of gratitude that leads you to more joy.
Yes. Awesome. Thanks, guys. See you soon.